presentation. So, as Ondra said, my name is Lenka. I work in Virtuální winery. The winery is from Mikulov, which is near the border of Austria. Our winery is middle size, which means that we produce about 150,000 bottles per year. We have our own vineyards, about 40 hectares now, and the name Virtuální is the name of our owner. So he is not only the owner of the winery, but he is also here in Czech Republic famous film producer. So people in Czech Republic knows his name or soap operas Vinaři or Bobule, which is about winemaking and some funny situation in South Moravia. But there is also film Lidice, so it's not such funny, of course. And let's go to the first sample. So we have this Sauvignon Blanc. Maybe at the beginning, how to taste the wine properly.
That was my specific question, so you really just took it out of my mouth.
Okay, so the first thing you judge is the color. So the best is to watch to the color, and you have something white here. So we are in virtual wine cellar, so not white, but it's no problem. And you can try to describe the color. So I think this color of the wine, it's greenish, pale green maybe. Mm-hmm. Then of course you squirrel it in your glass and use your nose. So you sniff. Maybe it's good to close your eyes because then your nose is more intense. You stop eyes and only nose is working. Mm-hmm. And try to think, what do you feel in it?
Maybe let me just tell you that this is not a one-way street. We want you to ask the questions. We want you to interact with us. It's not a problem. So in any chance if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask Lenka anything. And we will just hear it in this studio in our speakers. So don't worry, ask us. If you prefer text questions, I have a laptop here so I can see the questions also, but we prefer just audio so we can hear what you want to say. So in any chance, just shoot.
Okay, so on the nose, there is a Sauvignon Blanc and there are very typical tones which are usually in Sauvignon. So it's a gooseberry maybe black currant leaf, a little bit of greenish tones. It's called like, I don't know, grass or something like this. Very typical is nettle. So there is a nettle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then finally we can try it also. So move it in your mouth. Yeah.
You should just sip it a little bit, right? Don't just down it.
Yeah. And again, you feel that it's very juicy. There is a lot of acids. You have a wine tasting sheet and there are all information about the wine. So there is how many sugar it has, how many acid it has, how many alcohol. It's dry wine. We will have majority dry wine. So again, there is a gooseberry, there is a black currant, maybe a little bit of tropical fruits. So it's 2020, so it's young wine, and as we will talking maybe later about the vintage, how it works in our winery, so we will get more details about winemaking. So
and maybe you said 40 hectares. That's a lot, right? Because I think in South Moravia there are a lot of the smaller makers, and you are one of the biggest ones, right?
We are middle-sized, as I said.
Middle-sized.
Middle-sized. So there are also bigger players than we, in about 100 hectares. So.
And do you know how many people take care of the vineyards? Is it just like one winemaker who takes care of the vineyards, or is it like 10 of them?
You mean in our...
How many people take care of the plants right
40 hectares. So it's one main people who has all the knowledge and a school, and then we have 8 part-time workers from Ukrainian and 2 our workers, so 10 people plus 1 master.
Okay, so 1 plus 10. That's a lot of people, because usually in the small-sized winemakers it's just
doing
the family.
Everything.
It's a family company here. It's not no longer available to have it in one family. It has to be 10 or 11 people, right? That's
okay. So if you like the wine, now we will have a little bit of presentation, so you can just pour more wine and you can listen. Okay, so here you can see our logo. We will talk about it later, and let's go to the first slide of the presentation. Okay, so maybe you know Czech Republic for beer. Beer from Czech Republic, it's best known all over the world, but majority of people does not know that Czech Republic has a very long history of viticulture. So the first signs are from the 3rd century, and it was in Pálava, so in South Moravia. I think you saw very nice picture in the videos. It was that highland which was there on the pictures, and it was connected with Roman legend, and it's in archaeological excavation that they find a knife which was used to cutting the grapes. So it's the beginning. Then there was a middle age of Moravian and also Bohemian winery. You can see on the picture, it's our famous king, Charles IV, and as a young, he lived in France. So when he came back to Czech Republic, he also took some special varieties, and it was varieties which are called Pinot. So Pinot Blanc, Pinot Grigio, and Pinot Noir are in Czech Republic from that very old times. Then there is quite a long jump, but let's go to the communism era, because it was not good for wine growing in Czech Republic, because there was they took care more about quantity than quality. So they mix all white wine varieties together and just made dry, semi-dry, semi-sweet, sweet, and it has also very obscure names, something like Kiss from Pálava or this horrible thing, and it was only about quality, so horrible. But nowadays, after revolution in the 90s, the soil went back to private hands, and the new, from family winery to middle-sized winery to big companies appear, and winemakers started to visit France or Italy, countries which were well known for winemaking, to learn new things, to work with modern technologies, to work with barrique barrels and everything. And I think nowadays our especially white wines are the same quality as another cool climate white wines, and we are winning also many international awards. So another slide, please. Here you can see how in Czech Republic it looks like with wine growing. So we have 2 regions, Bohemia and Moravia region. As you can see, Bohemia region, it's only isolated islands around bigger rivers. But in Moravia, South Moravia, there are 4 main sub-regions. So it's according to maybe wine famous town. So it's Znojemská, Mikulovská, Velkopavlovická, and Slovácká. And our winery is from Mikulovská sub-region. And there is a 49th parallel on the picture. And if you go west on this parallel, I have one question for you, or one riddle. Try to think, you are in France, which region is on the same parallel in France? So guess. Anybody? Somebody is writing. So what do you think? Which famous France region is on the same parallel in France? Okay. So Burgund, no, it's Champagne. So so our wine subregions in South Moravia are in the same parallel, and Czech Republic is on the northern border of wine growing. So above us in Poland, there are some vineyards, but I don't know about the quality of the wines. So we, our wines are really typical from this cool climate. It means they are full of aroma, They are very juicy. They are structured. They are very nice. So you will see. So another picture. This is something about varieties which are grown in Czech Republic. Here in Czech Republic, we are growing many varieties, as you can see. No, any variety is not more than 10%. There is Grüne Veltliner, Miller, Thurgau, then Riesling. Then please give it Germany to just compare. Yeah, you can see in Germany there is 23% of Riesling. Then again Miller, Thurgau more than 12%. Pinot Noir. So they don't have such a lot of varieties. And of course, if you ask which wine is the best from Germany, of course it's Riesling from Moselle. And back to Czech varieties, please. Yeah. If we are talking about Czech varieties, Welsh Riesling is very interesting. It's a variety which is grown on that Pálava, and Pálava used to be in Mesolithic era under the sea, so now it's from limestone, and this limestone is giving something special to the especially Welsh Riesling. It's something like a minerality, or somebody call it a little bit of saltiness or bitterness in your mouth, and we will have it also in white wine, one wine. So let's go from German to another slide, and this is the last one, and then we will continue with tasting. And this is something about wine classification in the Czech Republic, because we are using German style of wine classification. So in Germany you have very similar. It's also similar in Austria, and it's according the content of sugar in the must. So you harvest the grapes and you press them, and you have the must, the juice, before the fermentation start, and in the must you measure how many sugar you have there, and the higher is the number, the, let's say, more ripen are the grapes, and the higher is the, we call it predicate, so it's the name of the wine. So we in our winery are working or producing only high quality wines with predicate. So we are starting with cabinet wine. It was the Sauvignon, the first one. Then it goes to late harvest, selected harvest, and continue higher and higher. But it doesn't mean that, for example, I don't know, selection of berries, it's better than cabinet. Because, for example, Sauvignon is better as a cabinet, but Pálava, which we will have, it's better as a late harvest or higher. So it's a little bit complicated, but if you want to buy good Czech wine, have it always with the predicate. It means cabinet, pozdní sběr, and so on. So this is very short about the basic facts, and we can go to the second sample, I think, which is Silvánské zelené, Silvaner.
Thank you. Great part of presentation. Let me, while you are pouring the second one, thank you. Let me just tell you what will happen now. Now we have the first sample. We have after the first sample. Now we are going for the second one. If you direction, could you put there the magic again so we can see the list of the wines? It would be great. If not, it's okay. So after, yes, thank you. After the second, we will have a third. Then there will be a break after third sample. You will have time to prepare the food, because there will be the food part afterwards. And there will be a 5-minute break with a loop of a video about South Moravia. So there will be a little bit of information distilled in this video, and it will be in a loop. So afterwards you can check it out, and you have some break for bringing the food. And then we will have the food part with 2 videos of how to prepare pâté from different sources. And then Lenka will be back for the second half with the last 3 samples. So this is it. And now we don't have to talk anymore. We can drink and enjoy these wines. And if you have any question about anything we just said, just ask us. Let us know.
Yeah, okay. So, as I said, second wine is Silvaner, Silvánské zelené in Czech. So, it's again vintage 2020. It's late harvest, again dry wine. It has a little bit more residual sugar. It's the same residual sugar, a little bit more alcohol. Silvaner, it's variety from Germany, quite old variety. So the color, it's maybe not such pale. There are a golden tinge in it. On the nose, again, it's some greenish tones and maybe lemon or lime or something like this.
I have the citruses there as well.
Yeah.
Something citrusy.
And in the mouth, at the beginning, it's a fruity, but at the end, there is a little bit of bitterness, and this is that minerality which I talk about. So
because of the limestone on the soil.
Because of the limestone in the soil, yes. So this Silvaner is in vineyard which is quite young. It's 6 years old only. And the first 3 years you don't have grapes, so you just wait until the plant is strong enough to have grapes. So it's second year of the plant is having the grapes. And people really like this Silvaner because it's such juicy, such you have one sip and you want to have another one.
It's pleasant to. It's not that aromatic that you are done after a few sips. It's more inviting you in. Yeah, it's nice. Let me ask you. You said about the age that 3 years is the period without any grapes. How old can the vineyard be and still be good for producing wine?
Yes, it can be quite old. It can be 100 years, but our oldest is 40. But when you go there, you see that one plant is dead, then another still is having grapes. So what we did last year, we dig these dead plants away and put there new plants. So there's and I think it's doing in this style. So you have some plants there older and some younger.
And that's not a problem for the quality. It's the same basically. Or is it different?
Again, you have to wait 3 years, of course. And then I think it can, if it is not a big amount of changing, but it's continuous, it can maybe even create interesting wine because you will have another tones from young plant and another from older. So I think it can be very nice mixture together.
Okay. We thank you, Lenka, for having the first quiz question because we and there is a question. I'm sorry. We take the question from Eliška. Eliška, yes, ask us.
Thank you, Olga. I just wanted to say that sometimes some people are raising their hands, so I want to just ask you if you see it, or I should somehow tell you that the people are raising their hands to ask the questions.
I haven't been watching it. I will watch now. So you don't have to do it, Eliška. Thank you. And
just tell us and we will follow.
Okay. So Werner Knecht. I don't know what's the first name, last name. Sorry. If you could just ask us your question.
Do you get support from the Czech government for the production of your wines?
Yeah, there are some kinds of support for growing new vineyards. I think basically it was money from European Union and then it goes to our Ministry of Agriculture. You can also use some other money for develop your winery as a for tourists. So just to have some wine tasting room and this one. Also, maybe there were some money for new technologies. So yes, they are supporting us. Maybe it was better in 90s when we restarted everything from the beginning, but still, I think there are also some money in research now. So also our winery is cooperating with university because we have here in Brno Mendlova Agriculture University. and one part is focused on viticulture, and we are cooperating with them. So if you have some research with them, you can also ask for some money.
Thank you. Okay, if you have any questions, you can either ask or raise your hands. I will check it more now, so I have the idea about you raising your hands. All right. You said that there is a support from the government for the vineyard. It means that they will basically reimburse you for the new plants you buy, or how does this work? Do you know?
Yes, it's because it's not only the plant. Maybe the plant is the cheapest thing.
Okay.
But you have to prepare the soil for it, and you have to buy the virus on which it is, which are also very expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have to have a people who work. So it's not only about the plants. So it's complex.
And during the harvest, you said there are 11 people normally. During the harvest, there has to be much more, right? Or how many during the high season? How many people can there be? 50?
No. We have 40 hectares of vineyards, yes, but only, let's say, 30 is having grapes. So we have this from 11 to maybe 15 people, and we are harvesting majority of it by hand, which is not normal in our size of winery. But for us, it's important because, as I said, we are doing only higher quality wines. And for example, we can go in one vineyard 3 times when we are harvesting. We go there at the beginning. So the harvesting time here in Czech Republic is from the end of August till the end of October, with maybe red or blue, so blue varieties maybe until the end of November. And so we go there at the beginning, at the end of August, and the grapes, they are not ripened, they are green, but we pick up part of them and we prepare very sour wine from it. And we use this sour wine as it's called sour reserve. And you can use it for changing acidity in the final wine. So because acids in a wine, there are like a skeleton. So they on it you have sugar, you have aroma and everything. And if you have not enough acid in the wine, then it's only for 1 year and then it's broken and it's impossible to drink, or not impossible, but you don't enjoy it. So there are some years, like it was 2018 or 19, and it was a very warm summer, very warm autumn. So there was a high sugar in grapes, but low acids. And then for this, we use this our sour reserve, natural way how to increase acids in the wine, which is not typical.
Normally they put their
wine
chemical
wine acid, yes.
Okay.
So then we go there for the second time and pick up everything as a late harvest. It's the majority of the wine. But in some special vineyards, we are waiting a longer time to have more ripened grapes. And you can even have noble rot. What it is? Noble rot, it's a grape on which is a fungi, which is called Botrytis cinerea. And this fungi, it takes away all the water. So you have something like raisins, and there is concentrate sugar, there is concentrate or aroma or the substances, and then it's very high amount of sugar in it, but still there are acids. And it's the same style of wine as are done in Hungary in Tokaj. So it's something special, but it's natural, it's a fungi. So you have it or you don't have it. You can't put it somewhere, somehow there. So that's why we harvest it by hand, because when you use some machine, you do it row, and nothing is left.
Sure. Okay. It has to be very reliable on weather. It has to be reliable on temperatures, on number of amount of rain per year, etc.
Everything.
Right? Okay. Yeah, as I keep hearing after all these wine tastings I've had, that it's really a very difficult time for a winemaker during the harvest and before the harvest. So much work and so dependent on the weather, and it's really nothing to be envy about to be a winemaker, because it seems ideal sometimes to have wine and talk about it to someone who is able to listen about it, but except that there's a lot of work behind that.
Yes, and we have two young boys as the winemakers.
How young?
Guess how old are they?
They're making the wine.
They are making the wine, and they are responsible for the whole wine production. So it's their responsibility.
You said boys, so they should be less than 18, but I cannot imagine.
No, I call them, you know, in South Moravia, everybody are boys and girls.
Okay, so I'm boy too.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, like we sometimes cooperate with different winemakers, and they are young as me, and he is 29, this guy. So is about that?
So the main winemaker is 25.
Wow.
And his right hand is 23.
Wow.
So they are, they both went to the same school. It was a secondary wine school in Baltice. And after that, they decided not to go to university and just to jump into winemaking. And Michal, the main winemaker, 25 years old, he is with us from the beginning, from 2015. So he started as a main winemaker in winery Vican at his 20th.
Wow.
So
you can make a career out of making wine very, very young age.
Yes, but you must to have owner who believe in you.
And strong liver, maybe.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to create this nice wine. It's not only, as you said, it's about climate, it's about weather, it's also about the plants which you have in your vineyard, and at the end, it's about chemistry, of course, knowledge, how the wine will continue, because you start with something and you have to be 2 steps behind to know what to do with the wine. So it's quite difficult.
We have a question for you.
Yes.
Great. What's the purpose of the shell that you can find on the capsule and label?
Okay, thank you for the question. We prepared a presentation for you, which we will be send it, but we decided it will be better to just talk and not to have presentation. So I will talk about it, and of course we can start with it, because you see on the wine label we have some symbols, and they are talking the story of our winery and the story also of wine growing in Czech Republic. So the shell, it's our logo. And it's because one of our vineyard is called Pod Mušlovem, which means mušle, it's shell in Czech. So, and it's, as I said, that the highland Palava, when our vineyards are situated, used to be under the Mesolithic sea. There is a limestone, but there are still these shells in excavation.
So you can still find shells in vineyards.
Yeah. And that's why we put it in our logo. And it's also, so as you can see on the label, it's there are grapes, and in the grapes there are some symbols. So the first is the logo. Then the second, it's that knife.
I know, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It's the knife that was found there
from the Roman legion.
Yes.
Yeah. And okay, I have some riddle for you.
Yeah, do that.
So, you know, there were in 1st century, there were Roman legion in Palava, so they were quite away from Italy. Of course, they decided to grow wine in Palava, which was not the same as Italy. But there was a very strong reason why they needed the wine. So do you know for what they used the wine, even in the 1st century? What was the main reason for growing and producing wine?
Let us know. Why Romans produced wine in here?
Yeah, for what they needed. Why it was so important not to just wait to have it from Italy, but to have it on the place where they live.
Okay. So can you guess why? Somebody's texting.
Okay.
You can wait. Maybe you can you search for it in Google, right?
No, you cannot find it.
No,
I don't know.
it's just in our heads now. It's not in Google yet, so no website about it. Water was not drinkable.
Yes, you are right.
Really?
This is the right question, of course. So they mix water together with wine. Wine was a disinfection, and it was a prevention before illnesses, especially like diarrhea. So they not drink water, but all time then drink water mixed with wine.
Okay, Thomas, he asked the question, so maybe he was involved in the answer as well. That's why maybe he asked it. But great job that you know about it. I really didn't know, and yeah, you're all liking it. It's very interesting fact. Okay.
Okay.
So the logo was the shell, and then the knife. Then I see some is it a church or something?
Yeah, it is church. Yeah, you are right. So it's a church with this, which is on Svatý Kopeček above Mikulov, and its church is a symbol for Dietrichstein and Liechtenstein noble families, which were responsible during medieval time for development of viticulture in this place. They were responsible, of course, of that beautiful Lednice Valetice area, as you see.
Yes, that's great linkage to the diversity and the videos you've seen. Do you remember what type of variety of wine did they bring in 14th to 16th century? We were talking about, Lenka was talking about it. What type of variety of wine did they bring in here, in this golden age of winemaking in Czech Republic? Starts with a P. What type did they bring? Huh? Yes,
yes,
we are.
You are right.
Perfect. We promise we won't bore you with these questions afterwards. We just want to test your, involvement until we are after like 5th sample. We won't ask any questions, okay? So just for now, for the second one, you still are, I think, 100% ready so that we can ask.
Okay, we go to the first sample. Of course, we will go back to all the symbols during all our speech.
Perfect.
And you will have Pálava as the third wine, and it's a very interesting variety.
Thank you. It's my most favorite variety, by the way. I'm from Brno, I'm local, and this is one of my first wines I've tasted, of course, after I was 18. So Pálava was the first because I was eager to taste something which has the name of the hill, which is outside Brno, right? So I was curious, and that's why I've tasted this, and I loved it.
Okay, so this variety is very specific because it's the variety which was bred here in Czech Republic in 60s maybe. And as I said, we are from cool climate for wine growing, and this cool climate is helping to develop beautiful aroma in the wine. It's because during the ripening time, the bigger is the difference of the temperature between the day and night. It's called diurnal difference. So the better it is for aroma. So during the day, when you have an Indian summer, usually here in Czech Republic, it's sunny, nice weather. It's good for sugar in the wine. And during the night, it's good for acid and for aroma. So the people here during that 60s, they decided to create really typical variety for this climate, and they decided to cross or do crossing between Gewürztraminer and Miller-Thurgau. So it's the crossing of Gewürztraminer and Miller-Thurgau. And if you use your nose, on the nose you have all the signs of Gewürztraminer. So it's flower, especially rosé, maybe chamomile. Then a little bit of spiciness. Maybe somebody has on in their head a gingerbread or something like this. And of course some limes or pomelo or something like this. Tangerine, maybe orange. And when you try it, you have your mouth full again of this nice fruit. And at the end is again the spiciness. So it's a very nice aromatic variety, and even is grown only in Czech Republic, maybe a little bit Austria, a little bit Slovakia. We are sending this wine, or not we like Virtuální winery, but all Moravian winemakers to international competitions, and especially in America, they started to like it. And for example, I think 2 years ago, our Palava won the best Palava of the world there. So,
wow! So it's a big thing to have this great wine and our own wine, which we can brag about all around the world, even in the US. So yeah, that's great. And I really like this one. Is it is it off sweet or off?
So it's semi-dry.
Semi-dry.
It has about 11 grams of sugar, and still it has very nice acids. As I said, acids, the skeleton of the wine. So.
How do you like? Let us know. How did you like these 3 samples, and what was maybe your favorite? We would like to hear, or we would like to read. Let us know. Yeah, somebody's typing. Yeah, which one was it?
Yeah, and for Australian, I feel like the Palava, like the best, like all the tasted. Yeah, suggestion.
Sauvignon and Palava is one of these favorites. We always say 1,000 people, 1,000 tastes.
Yes.
So when we say that Palava is maybe most famous and typical, it doesn't really mean that it has to be the best for everyone. We wouldn't have this many varieties of wine in South Moravia if only one was the best, right? Sylvaner. Yeah, someone has the Sylvaner. Yeah, Sylvaner is great, and I've heard about it. There is a specific about Sylvaner, which I've heard, that there are only few amount of tons of the grapes per hectare. It's less producing than, for example, Virtuálně. Is it correct? Or
No.
is the same?
No, it's another. It is Sylvaner was the variety which was grown in Czech Republic during communism the most, because it creates a lot of grapes. So now when you have, that's why Sylvaner is not grown now, because we are more aimed to quality wine. And if you have Sylvaner, the one plant can produce normally, let's say, 5 kilograms of grapes. But when you have higher quality wine, you need to reduce this amount to only, I don't know, 2 or 1.5 kilogram.
Wow. Just
that the plant gives everything, nutrient, everything, just only to the small amount to create nice, interesting, multi-layer aromatic wine. So during communism, they don't care about the vineyards, just Sylvaner and have as many as you can have. But now we are reducing the yield of it, and so it's another way, as you heard.
Yeah, that's great that you can hear something and it's not really the thing. And another thing which we talked about before, and I think this is interesting, is the type of bottling. We talked about the screws versus we talked about the corks, which is more typical. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so as you can see, not only on the small bottles, but also on the big bottles, we have this screw cap, and only on red wine we have a cork. And we decided for it for maybe 3 or 4 reasons. So because sometimes people also in Czech Republic is thinking that when you have a screw cap, it's for cheap wine. But now it's changing, and if you are in New Zealand or Austria, I think 90% of all wine, also higher quality, will have this screw cap. So it's changing, because also the technology of screw cap is changed. In the past, it was said that the wine you put in the bottle and have a screw cap, it has still the same quality. And with the cork, there will be some micro-oxidation, so the quality will be changed and developed to the better. But now they have the same technology, so still there is some kind of micro-oxidation, even in the screw cap. So the development is similar as you have a cork. But we decided for the screw cap because we cooperate a lot with gastro. So it's better for them to just open it, pour only a glass of wine and put it back into fridge, just not stand but lie. So it's because of the space. Again, when you have it for a picnic or something like this, you not need screwdriver. But the more important reason is ecology. Because cork, if you really use the natural cork, it's on cork oaks, and they are grown mostly in Portuguese. And there is not a lot of them there. And you have to wait quite a long time until you use the skin of the cork oak for do the cork. So if every winery will be using cork, we will not have them. So if you don't create wines like in France, which are for being in cellar for, I don't know, 50 years, then you really don't use this cork. And the third is that sometimes when you buy wine with cork, it can have a cork taint. So it's an illness in the wine. It's full of mold and fungi, and it's not nice. So, and this prevent it from it. So these are 3 or 4 reasons why we are using it.
So it's changing, and it's not really cork equal good wine and screw equal bad wine. Okay, thank you very much. This was the third sample. Great, we are grateful for your opinions about the specifics. I see, yeah, all of you prefer something else, but Palava and Sauvignon more than the Sylvaner. Just one information, but not everyone. Somebody preferred the Sylvaner as well. So thank you, Lenka, for now. This was the third sample, as we said, and I think it's nice to have some food now with the wine, and therefore we prepared 2 videos of how to prepare the tapas from the ingredients you have in your packages. So now there will be a 5-minute break, during which please bring the ingredients, bring a fresh baguette, and bring a knife to cut it, and a kitchen knife to spread it, okay? So bring these things in 5 minutes, and in the meantime there will be a loop of the video about South Moravia, where you can find out some information maybe that you've missed during the introduction. So see you in about 5 minutes, 7, 10 or something like that. We will be back for the food part of this program. See you. welcome back in the studio. I'm here alone as I promised. Now that we will be talking and tasting the Taste of Moravia, which is the company who prepare these dishes that you have already in front of you, I hope. I see some webcams, I see somebody already chewing. Hopefully there will be something left for the video so you know how to prepare it. Of course, it's nothing that hard to prepare, but still we prepare 2 videos of 2 tapas that you will create. And first of all, let me tell you a little about Taste of Moravia. They started in 2012. There are mainly 2 guys, Vlastík and Martin, and they were programmers, they were IT guys and graphic designers, and afterwards they said that they would like to try first to create wine also. They were creating some wine, but afterwards they were trying to create food instead from the old cookbooks that they found, and they were gathering these old recipes to create some new food but with old types of ingredients. And that's why they figure out this very non-traditional but very tasteful food that you will try right now. So there are 2 videos, as I said. There is a audio which is there, so please make sure that it's on, the audio is on so you can hear it very well. And there's actually some subtitles, but it's just the highlights of the things that you should do. Basically, you will need a sharp knife, you will need a baguette, and then you will need these ingredients. And for the first video, you will actually need St. John walnuts and the hop shots. So yes, thank you for the link. There is a link for the website when there is more information and about us section with all the announcement of the winnings that they had, and I will talk about it later. But first of all, I will let you create the first tapas made out of St. John walnuts. So let's go.
We will prepare 2 types of tapas with beef pate. The first combination will be St. John's walnuts and the second with young hop shoots. Take a fresh baguette and cut it into 1 to 2 centimeter slices. Spread the baguette with our roast beef pate. This beef pate is roasted from mature beef from the highly regarded Angus breed. Together with liver, pork belly, a little red wine and spices, we have managed to create a pate you'll never forget. And since all the meat used is of a organic quality, and the subsequent production process is without any added chemical preservatives apart from salt, we can proudly declare this pate to be absolutely healthy. For more intense taste, it is advised to leave the pate at room temperature for a while. Before my colleague spreads the pate on tapas, I will introduce you to St. John's walnuts that we are going to combine it with. St. John's walnuts is a delicacy made of walnuts according to an original 100-year-old recipe. Still green walnuts, that is unripe, are harvested during the period around St. John's Day, the June 24th, when the nutshell is not yet fully developed. As a result, the whole nuts, including the shell and peel, can be put into a delicious spicy sugar syrup. In addition to the excellent taste, walnuts are known for their beneficial effects on the human organism. Use a fork to pull out the nuts. You can also split them in the glass to put them out more easily. The tapas are spread with the pate, and now we are going to cut the St. John's nuts into thin slices, approximately 1 to 2 millimeters, and put on the baguette. Next, if you have grapes or walnuts, cut the grapes in half and add them to the tapas. Chop common walnuts and use to garnish. Other possibilities of garnishing are using spring young hop shoot, sprout. For the other half of the tapas, take a glass with hops and put a few sprouts on the pâté. And it's done! Bon appétit!
Bon appetit! I hope you managed to prepare it all, that you didn't cut any of your fingers, that you are live and sound back here, and that you enjoyed it. If you haven't ate it already, please show us, as Eliška said, show us your creations in the webcam so we can see what you created and how was it. So you don't be afraid to show us, and don't be afraid to share with us your thoughts about it. How was it? Let us know. You can mix it with the wine also, of course. So, is it good?
Excellent, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure with a mouthful it's hard to speak, I believe, right? And it's hard to type in your keyboard, so you don't have your keyboard dirty, I believe. Yeah, very good, great, thank you. As I said, there is a link to more information about the ingredients and about how they make it. There are beautiful pictures and videos of the producing of some of these food delicacies. Let me just tell you that they were awarded, this Taste of Moravia was awarded Regional Food of South Moravia and Golden Taste of South Moravia. These St. John walnuts, these black thingies you have on top, were very non-traditional, and that's why they were awarded these specific prizes. So you have really a piece of Moravia in your mouth right now. So I hope you enjoy it, and that you will maybe try it, mix it with the wine. Maybe let us know how that works, and if, for example, pálava is good for it or something else. Pálava, still amazing, great. Let me tell you that I poured a little more pálava as well. This is my preferred wine as well. Okay, great that you like it. There are more to come. There is the second one where you will use the slaninada. And slaninada is interesting word, which really, it's not a word in Czech. It's like a mixture of several words, but it's a bacon jam. So if you thought that jam has to be sweet, you are proven wrong right now, because there is a bacon jam for you, and you can try it also with the fresh baguette, and it's all coming in this next video. So let me just watch if there is any question from you. Combination of pate, nuts, syrup is amazing. Great. Great to hear that. But don't eat it all, because there is a second one, so you are not full. So let's watch the second video now.
In our second video, we will prepare tapas based on our delicacy called slaninada, the bacon jam. Let's start again with the baguette, cut it the same way. Take the bacon jam and spread it on the prepared pieces of baguette. The basis of the bacon jam is smoked bacon without preservatives, pure salted meat, which is smoked for us by a local butcher not far from Brno. Furthermore, bacon jam consists of a lot of ingredients. The most interesting are, for example, a paste from St. John's walnuts or coffee. Bacon jam became the best-selling product of the previous year. With bacon jam, we won the Food Award of the South Moravian region for 2019. Now, prepare the sauerkraut. You can pre-cut it slightly. Put the sauerkraut on the tapas. Finally, take the red onion and cut it into small pieces and sprinkle the tapas. Voila! Enjoy the homemade tapas!
We are back, both of us. Hello, Lenka
Hello.
again. Are you hungry now when you see
Yes,
that?
I am very hungry.
We don't have these tastes in here. It wouldn't really even fit on our table. So we can just watch and envy you right now. So tell us if there is something to be envy about. Was it good? This bacon jam with sauerkraut. Yvette is typing. Actually, she tasted it before, so she knows if she knows what's the preferred version. Marvelous, yeah.
Very good, yeah, thank you.
Is it which one was the preferred one, the first or the second?
Second one.
Okay, maybe sauerkraut for you, because in Germany it's more traditional ingredients. Maybe that's a preferred taste for you.
That's true, yeah.
Amazing, yeah, great. Great to hear that. We will let both guys, Vlastík and Martin, we will let them know that you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, of course, there is the website again, or an email there for you to ask anything that you want. But I think the website is good enough. Yeah, you're welcome. Let me just tell you about the award for this second tapas. And this tapas was awarded 2 gold stars at prestigious Great Taste Award in London. So they won a prize for a great taste in London. So that's a big deal for our local ingredients and local South Moravian food. So I'm grateful for you that you enjoyed it, and hopefully you are thirsty again, because we are coming back to wines. Lenka, so what's ahead of us? What are the 3 last samples?
Okay, so we will switch to some rosé wines, and then at the end we will have Blaufränkisch, it means red wine. So if you didn't eat everything, just have this slaninada, and I think it will pair well with the last sample.
So slanina, the bacon jam with the Blaufränkisch is the best.
Yeah, I think it will be very nice. So now we have Merlot Rosé.
Should we wash our glasses before we drink it? It's not necessary after the white, or is it?
No, it's not necessary after the white. So if you go from white to rosé and to red, so it's not necessary. So we have a little bit different color than white wine. You can see it's nice salmon color. And as I said, our younger winemaker Vojta is responsible for rosé.
It's the 23-year-old?
20, yeah.
Wow.
And it's very difficult to create nice color in rosé, because when you making white wine, you have the grapes, you press them, then you have a juice, and then there is a fermentation and sugar is changing to alcohol and you have a wine. When you have red wine, you only smash the grapes a little bit, and then there are still the skins, and the fermentation is together with the skins, and so that's why the color from the skins goes into wine. When you have rosé wine, it's something between. With red wines, the fermentation together with skins is in months. With rosé wine, there is no fermentation, there is only contact with the skins for the hours, and then you press it, and then you again have a juice, but the juice is pink.
So there's no color added, it's just for the
It's from the
quickly
skins.
being there with the
Yeah,
skins.
it's from the skins, but in the skins there are not only color, but there are also tannins. Tannins are also in tea. It's the bitterness which is also in tea. So when you are making rosé wine, you have to decide how long it will be together with skins. Just not have to nice color, but don't have the bitterness, which is more typical for the red wine. So that's why it's quite difficult. So this is a mellow rosé, and it's not typical rosé from Czech Republic because it's dry. People in Czech Republic are usually used for semi-dry or semi-sweet rosé, but we decided to do one rosé dry, and also rosé from Merlot is not very typical. So if you use your nose, on the nose you will have a spicy aroma, which is from tannins, from the skins, and maybe a little bit of creaminess, maybe not such a lot of, or not such intense fruits. We will have them in Blaufränkisch. When you try it, it's very nice, rich. At the end, there is the end maybe of cherry, I think, and there is also that a little bitterness from the skins, from the tannins. So it's, I think this Merlot will be, the longer in the glass or in the bottle it will be, the more interesting it's going to be.
For me, it's very non-traditional. It's a rosé and it's not sweet or even semi-sweet. It's dry. That's really not what I expected. Is it popular? Does it have its customers? Even though it's dry, they really don't pay. Maybe they don't expect it as I did.
Yeah, we had some customers who were asking to have this dry rosé, so we hope that they will like it.
And how do you decide of this will be dry, this will be sweet or semi-sweet or something like that? Why is that? What's the decision based on? I hope there will be many things it's based on, but what's the most important?
Yes, so at the beginning, of course, it's the amount of the sugar at the beginning in the grapes. So the higher sugar you have, the most sweet wine you can do. But as I said, sugar, natural sugar in the grapes, during the fermentation by yeast, is changed into alcohol and into carbon dioxide. This is the fermentation process. And when the winemaker decide to have a dry wine, so they let the fermentation go until all the sugar is changed into alcohol. When the winemaker decide to have palava, semi-dry, so they are still measuring the amount of the sugar, and in the occasion they said, okay, it's enough, they stop the fermentation. You can stop the fermentation by many ways. One way is that you add the sulfur dioxide into wine. It's normal. Sometimes people are afraid, oh, sulfur dioxide in the wine, but it's used also as a conservant for dried fruits, so it's used very long time. But it's a poison for the yeast, so they stop fermentation and you can work with the wine and final clarification and then bottling. Or because the yeast in the wine, they are working, but they are falling down as they are dying, so sometimes you can just only pour it to another tank or something like this and fermentation is stopping. So but always it depends on a winemaker, because he has some aim in his head what to do with this type of wine.
And that's the professional who does it a lot of times.
Yeah.
Maybe for someone it's in 20 years when they start, 20 years of age, and they can do it for 40 years, of course, right? So they can be
Yeah.
very skillful, and then they have a vision for the wine. They will say, okay, this will be dry,
Yeah.
and this won't. Okay, great. So this was a dry rosé, not dried, dry rosé. I will be interested in your thoughts about it, and I appreciate the pictures of the food. And we envy you even more right now when we see how beautiful this looks and how you enjoyed it. But back to wines, I'm sure that there are some pictures, important pictures for our clients to see. Is there?
Yeah, so yeah, we can have some pictures there, maybe, yeah, because here you can see, yeah, they will be changing. So in Farma Palava, so it's Winery Vican and Farma Palava. And in Farma Palava, we are making also cheese. So we are making cheese from cow and goat milk. And you can see, we are making cheese like, let's say, cottage, it's a fresh cheese, then a Gouda style cheese. And then on the picture, you see that long tails, it's called korbáčky. And it's typical here or in Slovakia, and it's a sweet cheese. And this is the picture how it is made. So
It's
people,
like ponytails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people sometimes can come to our winery to have a team building, and they can try to make a cheese. They really enjoy it. This is picture from the vineyard. As I said, that there is that Botrytis cinerea, that special fungi for special wine. Yes, and this is picture from the wine harvesting when there was a company, and they really enjoy it because normally they are sitting in front of computers and then can go outside, enjoy it. And we'll see, we have it there, only 4 pictures. So I think I comment all of them.
Great, thank you. That's great. Let me tell you that we as a team building company also use Lednice, Baltice area, or the wine area as well for our team buildings. It can be either for any team building, outdoor version of the team building, this flat earth with beautiful gardens or grass places where we can have meadows. Yeah, that's the word. Where we can have this 100 people doing, for example, 8 activities, shooting from bows and jumping on ropes, or doing some construction activity, and this is all based in this beautiful area. And after that, they will go to wine cellar and they will have a wine tasting of their choosing. So it's always a good combination of team building and wine tasting, because they have something to look forward to, and that's why they try so hard, because maybe the winner will get some wine or something. So it is always a good motivation to combine these 2 activities together. So this was a little bit about South Moravia as well. And now we have 2 last samples. Is it from dry to sweet? So are we going to sweeter now, or is it different way?
Yes, we are going to semi-dry again, and red wine at the end will be dry. So, so another rosé, Blaufränkisch rosé.
Thank you.
So maybe the color is deeper. It's maybe coral pink with a little bit of violet or something like this. And this is typical rosé which people are enjoying here, somewhere near swimming pool, on the terrace, with friends, maybe some barbecue party or something like this. So if you smell it, there is more raspberry, strawberry, little bit of creaminess. So this is maybe how you imagine the rosé.
Exactly.
And you try it again, nice, maybe raspberry with cream, something like this, or with yogurt or something like this. So it has again about 11 grams of sugar, and it has very low alcohol, only 10.5. So you can drink a lot of this wine, and you will be not drunk.
In the summer, that's perfect. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Somebody says that they can't hear us. Is it for more of you that you can't hear us, or is it okay? Is it okay? Okay, so maybe you can just mute yourselves. That's the first issue usually, that you are unmuted and then you can't hear us. So try to... It's okay. Okay, great. So let's continue. So it's a low alcohol, more summer-like
Yes.
raspberry wine, more like traditional rosé, right?
Yeah, for maybe rosé more for majority of the customers.
that's
Yeah, something like this. So maybe we can go back to Symbols because we didn't finish it
Yeah, we finished at the...
with the church.
Yeah, with the church, with the third one.
There is the hand, but we were talking about it. It's that because of the harvesting the grapes by the hand. So we were talking about it, that it's important and that it allows us to go in one vineyard 3 times to create different type of wine. Then there is a barrel. It's a wooden barrel, and barrels are of course used in winery many times, especially for the red wines. Because as I said, the tannins are in the skin, but they are also in the wood. And when you need a complex, nice wine, you always need to put the red wine into wooden barrel because the tannins from the wood, from the barrel goes into the wine. So but we are using barrels also for white wines, which is not typical. But if you have a good variety as that Pinot Blanc or Pinot Grigio or Chardonnay, they are all from France, it adds some more layer to, if you have, I don't know, only fruity Chardonnay and you have it in a barrel, then you have there vanilla and these tones of wood. So it's, let's say, one step higher wine. And we set regional wine into regional barrels, which means that we decided not to buy barrels as majority of the wineries in Czech Republic from France, but we found one barrel maker here in South Moravia. So he is making barrels from wood from South Moravia, and now we have 3 different wood: oak, acacia, and chestnut. And it really creates different wines. So if you try Merlot from this 3 type of wood, they really taste differently.
It's really bold, because what I believe that all these things you have decided, creating the dry wine for increasing acidity, or this homemade barrels, I say, has to increase the price, right? And it's really bold for you to do it and really say, okay, we won't buy French barrels as everyone else. We will just go for it differently. That's something admirable.
Yeah, and the last symbol, it's sun. So without sun, there will be nothing. Vineyards, South Moravia, so it's the picture. It's that very nice yellow and orange and red. It's a sunset above Pálava, so it's from real photo. And then there is a slogan, which you maybe know, but we little slightly change it. So I will see if it's also on the small bottles. So we have there Veni Vidi Vican instead of Veni Vidi Vici. So
that's a little joke, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you for explaining that. Actually, we have this for companies as well. And yesterday we had a company which make etiquettes, which make the labels. And we discussed a lot with the winemaker yesterday, about 20 minutes about the label. And I figured out yesterday and today that there is a big thing about labels. It's a big deal. For me as a normal customer, I wouldn't really pay that much attention, but when you talk about it, it's really interesting what's the story behind it. And here it's a beautiful story. I like the shell. How is it made of? Is it like plastics?
Parcel, I don't know.
It's really interesting
plastic,
that you touch it.
Plastic.
It's really nice. Okay, thank you for this. And the 5th sample of yours, I don't see any opinions, so let us know. We have 2 more which you preferred. Maybe you won't even remember the previous 3, so maybe you can compare it among these 2, which one is better, or if Pálava is still the winner for someone. Because we are going for the 3rd of this part, 6th total, and is the last sample. And afterwards, if you don't have any questions, we will sign off, and you can of course keep discussing or asking the ladies here from all these departments on Czech tourism any questions you want, and we will answer it. And Yeah, Merlot is preferable for
Merlot.
yeah,
okay.
for Christian Merlot. Yeah, and he has a like there, so maybe Merlot was the preferable one. But now let's go for the final sample, and it's the red wine. So red is always made in the barrels, or is it one part of in a stainless steel and one part in barrels? How is that?
No, it's always in the barrels, but as you can see our virtual cellar, then you don't see barrels. You see something very strange there. So it's amphoras, and it's a Georgian style of winemaking. We have it in one wine cellar. It's called kvevri. The amphoras are called kvevri. It's the Georgian name. And when we have red in this amphora, so it's not in barrel, but it's in this amphora.
And it's ceramic?
It's ceramic, and it's 7,000 years old winemaking technique. So we are at the beginning of winemaking. And if we have a white wine from this kvevri, you put there again whole grapes, and it's in contact with skin 6 months. So white wine is not white, but it's orange. It's really very orange, because all the color from the skins goes into wine. Red wine is very deep. It's not this color, but it's more going to black maybe. And it's really natural, because it's only the variety in the ceramic, so nothing is added from any barrel. And it's very interesting. We don't filter it, we don't clarify it, and we don't use that sulfur dioxide, because there is enough natural conservant in it. But
And
it's
is there
a very strange style.
Yeah, I tasted it, and it was really very strange, very dry. And it's all this orange wine, because you can now find orange wines. I think it's a trend right now.
Yeah.
Is it always made out of these quarries, or
No.
not always?
The orange color is from skin contact. So if you have it in a tank or in barrel, long time with skin, again you still have from wide varieties orange wine.
So it's not necessarily
No,
made
to have
out
it
of
in
this
fabric.
technique. Okay.
Yes. So let's go to the wine. So it's Blaufränkisch, and here we have vintage 2019, because red wine always need longer time to develop in the bottle. So it's older than the rest. It has also higher alcohol, and as you can see, deep ruby color, and the aroma is a little bit spicy. You can feel there some maybe raspberries, maybe some plums, but not as a fruit, but maybe as a jam, or boiled or something like this. When you try it, there are the bitterness on your tongues, that tannins, which belongs to the red wine. And because it was in wooden barring barrel, which means that it was toasted by fire in it, so you can also feel a little bit of smokiness in it,
yes.
or a chocolate, or these tones.
And it's made because of the barrel to last longer, or because of the taste of the wine?
It's because of the taste of the wine. All wooden barrels using in a winery are somehow in the fire, because it destroyed that. Because I don't know if you were a child and sometimes try to buy the wood, it was very, very, very bitter. So before you use it for wine, you have to put it on the fire to change these bitter tannins into more sweet tannins. So every barrel is somehow toasted in the fire, but barrique barrels are toasted some special way. It's maybe their mystery in France. I don't know how they do it.
Okay. So that was about barrels, but maybe you are interested maybe more about barrels, maybe about something else. So ask us. There is a unique opportunity now to ask Lenka about anything you want about the producing of wines, and she will be happy to answer.
Of course.
They are so preoccupied with tasting your wines that they are
Yeah, okay.
speechless. Great. Werner, yes.
Do you organize wine tasting tours?
Of course, we are organizing wine tasting tours. As we are organizing team buildings for companies, we are also organizing wine tasting tours. You can visit our winery. You can visit this nice 100 years old wine cellar. Or then you can come to Farma Pálava and try our cheese and enjoy our wines. So yes, we are organizing it in English. I'm sorry, not in German. I am the same as Ondra with my German. But in English, it's no problem, and it's better always to ask before if somebody who is speaking English will be there. But I am there always, every time. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, another question? All right. So if you don't have any questions, of course, you can ask us later. Eliška can send, for example, contact details to Lenka or to me if you have any questions about our events that we create, because it's not just virtual events. Of course, we have to switch from the outdoor, which I was talking about, to this virtual space. So there's a lot of things going on as well. Okay, thank you very much for being that interactive with us. It was great to hear your questions and to read your questions. Hopefully you enjoyed this event, and maybe we'll see each other in some other time. Maybe you will visit our great South Moravia and you will enjoy it. And before we sign off, there's a last question. If it's possible to order the wine to Germany.
Oh, it is, but it's quite difficult. But yes, ask maybe the people who invite you, and they will tell me, and we will do it somehow. Yes.
So it's possible. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe see each other another time. This is Z Agency. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.